Have you ever noticed that your priorities start to shift as you get older? The things that once seemed crucial, like having a large circle of friends, may no longer feel as important. Here's the surprising truth: after the age of 70, you might not actually need friends the way you once did. That may sound unexpected, even unsettling. But when you take a closer look, it begins to make perfect sense. Embracing independence and prioritizing your personal well-being can be one of the most powerful and fulfilling choices you'll ever make. In this video, we're going to explore 6 compelling reasons why friendships may not be as necessary in your later years as they once were. You'll see how your mindset, sense of freedom, and even your health can flourish when you stop trying to maintain friendships that no longer serve you. This isn't about loneliness. It's about living life on your own terms, free from the expectations and obligations that often accompany social connections. Stay with us until the end, because letting go of the pressure to maintain certain friendships may not only liberate you, it could transform the way you experience your later years for the better. Reason number 1. You no longer need to prove yourself to anyone. In your earlier years, friendships often revolved around fitting in, gaining approval, and maintaining appearances. Whether it was socializing with coworkers, staying in touch with acquaintances, or being included in gatherings, there was always a subtle pressure to be liked and accepted. By the time you reach 70, that phase of life has passed. You've already built your career, lived your experiences, and shaped your legacy. The need for external validation simply fades. At this stage, you begin to understand that true fulfillment doesn't come from others' approval, it comes from within. There's no longer any reason to pursue friendships for status, reputation, or validation. You know your worth, and you don't need others to reinforce it. Real-life example, Harold. Harold, a man in his early 70s, spent most of his life surrounded by people due to his high-level corporate job. But after retirement, most of those friendships disappeared. At first, he tried to keep them going, but soon realized they were never genuine. He shifted inward, rediscovered hobbies, let go of superficial relationships, and stopped trying to impress anyone. And for the first time in years, he felt free. Reason number 2, peace becomes more valuable than socializing. As we age, something remarkable happens. The chaos and excitement of constant socializing, which once felt essential, begin to lose their appeal. Instead, peace, true, uninterrupted inner peace, becomes one of the most valuable treasures of our later years. In our younger decades, socializing was almost like a rite of passage. It was a way to network, form bonds, stay in the loop, and feel relevant. The noise, the laughter, the back and forth of daily interactions, those things felt like signs of a life well lived. But once you reach your 70s, your values mature just as you have. That kind of constant stimulation, once energizing, can now feel intrusive. The beauty of quietness begins to shine through. And it's not just any quiet. It's the kind that lets you breathe deeply, think clearly, and exist without demands. It's peace on your own terms. Even good friendships come with effort. There are check-ins to make, stories to listen to, opinions to manage, and often drama to tolerate. It may not be toxic, but it can still be tiring. At this stage of life, you may start to notice how some socialties subtly sap your energy rather than replenish it. Take Margaret, for instance. She's 74 now, and once had an active calendar filled with brunches, group chats, and holiday events. But as the years passed, those interactions no longer brought her joy. The conversations became repetitive. Some friends only called to vent or gossip. The connection, once a lifeline, became a burden. So Margaret did something radical. She stopped. She stopped attending social gatherings out of guilt. She stopped replying instantly to messages that didn't feel urgent. Instead, she started rediscovering herself. She filled her time with simple pleasures: quiet mornings in the garden, leisurely walks, reading long-forgotten books. She wasn't avoiding people. She was reconnecting with herself, and in that silence, she found serenity. Solitude, she realized, wasn't the same as loneliness. It was a luxury, a relief. This shift in mindset is empowering. You don't have to fill your days with calls, coffees, and obligations to prove you're connected. You're allowed to choose calm over chaos, and you don't have to apologize for it. So, if you've ever felt that pulling back means something's wrong, remember this: choosing peace is not a loss, it's a gift to yourself, one that only grows more precious with age. Reason number 3. Fewer friendships mean fewer disappointments. Let's face it, friendships, like all human relationships, come with expectations. Whether we acknowledge it or not, we expect friends to be there, to listen, to care, to show up, and when they don't, it hurts. By the time you hit 70, you've likely experienced this. People who promise to always be there disappear. Others drift away when life gets hard. Sometimes the friendships you've nurtured for years feel one-sided, and with that comes disappointment. But here's the powerful truth: the fewer friendships you maintain, the fewer emotional disappointments you face. William, now 78, knows this well. He spent his life being the reliable friend, the one who called, showed up, and remembered birthdays. But slowly the calls weren't returned. The visits stopped. For a while, William blamed himself. Did he say something wrong? Was he not interesting anymore? But then he understood he hadn't changed. He had simply stopped tolerating relationships that didn't give back. And in that realization came clarity. He didn't need to carry the emotional baggage of friendships that weren't mutual. When you stop stretching yourself to keep friendships alive, you free up your emotional bandwidth. You understand that not all relationships are meant to last, and that's okay. It's not about bitterness or resentment, it's about boundaries. About recognizing your worth and saving your energy for the few relationships that are truly reciprocal. Letting go of shallow friendships makes room for something deeper: peace, self-respect, and emotional freedom. Because at this age, your heart deserves rest, not repeated disappointment. Reason number 4. Your time becomes incredibly precious. Time is the one currency we can't earn back. And as you grow older, you become acutely aware of how limited and valuable every minute is. In your younger years, time felt infinite. You could juggle social commitments, chat for hours, attend events just to be polite. But now in your 70s, that perspective shifts. You realize that every moment matters, and you become incredibly selective about where your energy goes. Friendships, even well-meaning ones, take time to talk, to visit, to follow up. Some are worth it. Many are not. Richard, in his early 80s, used to thrive on a busy social life. But gradually, he started to notice how drained he felt after those gatherings. The laughter was forced, the conversations shallow. He would return home exhausted, not energized. And one day, it hit him. He was spending his precious time on things that didn't make him happy. So he made a change. He stopped saying yes just to be polite. He turned down invitations that didn't excite him. He replaced long conversations with meaningful silence. And instead of feeling alone, he felt liberated. He spent that reclaimed time walking in nature, writing in journals, trying new recipes, even picking up a hobby he had long forgotten. And for the first time in years, time felt abundant because he was spending it on himself. At 70 or beyond, you deserve to be selfish with your time. You've earned that right. Reason number 5. True companionship comes from within. One of the most liberating realizations in later life is this: you are enough. For most of your journey, you've been conditioned to seek companionship externally. Friends were a source of joy, distraction, entertainment, and even validation. You were told that to be alone was to be lonely. But that's not the whole truth. Real companionship, the kind that never leaves you, never drains you, never betrays you, comes from within. Eleanor, now 76, used to fill her calendar just to avoid empty days. She feared solitude, equating it with sadness. But over time, she discovered something surprising. Despite being surrounded by people, she often felt the loneliest at social gatherings. So she did something that scared her. She stopped. She stopped chasing connections. She started taking herself out for coffee. She went on walks with just her thoughts. She learned to sit with silence and let it comfort her. And what happened next was extraordinary. She began to enjoy her own company. She didn't need someone to entertain her. She didn't need constant chatter. She learned that fulfillment could come from journaling, meditating, painting, or simply watching the world pass by. The relationship you have with yourself is the only one guaranteed to last a lifetime. And when you nurture it, everything else becomes optional, not essential. That's not to say you won't enjoy the company of others, but it will no longer define your happiness. You'll stop chasing people and instead attract the right kind of peace, and perhaps even the right kind of people who bring no pressure, only presence. Reason number 6. Some friendships are meant only for a season, not a lifetime. This might be the most bittersweet truth of all. Many people believe that true friendships should last forever. But real life teaches a different lesson. Some friendships are only meant for a season of your life, and that's okay. When you're young, every friend feels like a forever friend. You imagine growing old together, sharing every chapter of life. But seasons change, and so do people. In your 70s, you look back and realize that many of the friends you once held dear drifted away naturally, not out of malice, not due to conflict, simply because life moved you in different directions. Susan, now 73, used to be inseparable from her college roommate, Diane. They talked every day, raised children at the same time, went on family vacations together. But when Diane moved across the country, the bond faded. The calls became less frequent. The shared interests slowly vanished. For years, Susan mourned the fading of that friendship. She wondered if she should reach out more, if she should fight harder to keep the connection alive. But then she realized their friendship had served its season. It had supported her through young motherhood, career stress, and early widowhood. And just like a beautiful chapter in a book, it ended not with a clash, but with closure. Some friendships are like that. They show up when you need them most. They help you grow, teach you lessons, share laughter, and then they fade. And at this stage in life, clinging to friendships that no longer fit only leads to frustration. You don't need to hold on out of nostalgia or guilt. Instead, honor the friendship for what it was. Appreciate the role it played, and then let go gently. This mindset isn't about loneliness. It's about emotional maturity, about understanding that life is made of cycles, and sometimes friendships are just one beautiful part of that cycle. When you accept this truth, you stop fearing the loss of friends. You stop forcing connections that have naturally run their course. And in doing so, you free yourself to fully embrace the people and peace that belong in your present moment. Final reflection. Choosing solitude is choosing strength, not sadness. Let's end with this powerful thought. In a world that constantly pushes connection, choosing solitude can seem like rebellion, but it isn't, it's wisdom. When you decide to no longer chase friendships in your 70s, you're not being cold, you're being conscious. You're choosing presence over pressure, depth over distraction, and peace over performance. You've spent a lifetime caring, showing up, giving your time, your energy, your heart, and now you're finally allowed to reclaim all that energy for yourself. This doesn't mean closing your heart. It means protecting it. It means knowing the difference between a connection that enriches you and one that drains you. Solitude isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of self-love. So if you find yourself spending more time alone these days, don't question it. Embrace it. Celebrate it. You are not fading away. You are coming home to yourself. And that, my friend, is one of the most beautiful parts of growing older. If you found value in this message, don't forget to hit the like button. It lets us know this content matters to you. Subscribe to Timeless Truths and tap the bell icon so you never miss a video that speaks to your heart and your stage of life. We explore wisdom, wellness, and life's deeper meaning, one timeless truth at a time. Share this video with someone who might need a gentle reminder that growing older is not the end. It's the beginning of clarity, strength, and peace.